We have been through our own setbacks. We have been through our own experiences that, we would call not just uncertain, but, real challenges. And yes, today's, COVID-19 conditions are putting some pressure on our businesses in a way that many of us had never prepared for, maybe would ever want to happen, but that's where we're at. And so I'm really going to talk to you from a place of understanding resilient leadership and what can we do about that? How can we all respond to the current conditions or other, choice points we have, and how do we pivot? What are you really worried about today? And I'd invite you to consider, you're probably more worried about something that happened in the past or something that hasn't even happened yet in the future. And so if you're mindful of that, if you can be more present about that, it will enable you to put one foot in front of the other and start moving forward. And so mindfulness is really about being present. It's about acknowledging the feelings and emotions that we have, acknowledging what's going on around us, but then really choosing much more sort of specifically what actions we want to take. Grit comes from two real places, primarily. Passion, which is why you do what you do, and persistence, which is that stick-with-itness that not all of us experience in that moment of panic and fear and anxiety. But over time, for those of us who said we've been in the business for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years or more, we can look over our shoulder and see much more road behind us than those concerns might warrant. We've got a track record of success and making some good decisions along the way. If you want to reconsider your market positioning, if you want to position yourself for success moving forward, I'd offer go back to the message about grit on passion, go back to the message from Cynic about this being a magical opportunity. When things are fine, we don't really think about what we're doing. We just keep going day-to-day business as usual. Things aren't fine right now. Things are very different. And we need to find ways to create sustainable business models to bring us forward and really forecast out into the future, 3, 5, 10 years or more. We're talking long path. We're not talking about short term. In the future, where do you want to be? If anything were possible for you in December of 2023, roughly 3 years out from now, pick your North Star, put your lighthouse there, and then work backwards to plan your future from the future. We want to protect current revenue streams to the extent possible, even in current times. We want to generate new revenue streams where we can. Recognize that this is a really tough time for lots of people. You may not be able to get superstar performance from everybody right now. You may need to level set your expectations, but in doing so, level set expectations and clarify with them, what are the priorities? And so set clear roles and responsibilities for everybody. Make sure they know exactly what their expectations are day to day, week to week. And that might be a 5-minute check-in, or I've got clients, senior vice president of engineering, with his very capable leaders. They do a 10-minute check-in every day, 8:30 a.m. They hop on a call for 10 minutes just to clarify who's doing what and what the priorities are for the day. It's a great way of pulling your team together and maintaining social connection right now, while we are, of course, honoring the need for physical distancing. Leaders make weather. You have a choice. Even in a crisis, even in a global pandemic, do you want to create blue skies and sunshine, or are you going to create dark clouds and thunderstorms? I assure you that your people want more blue skies and sunshine, especially for those of us living in Southern California. We're used to it. We don't like dark clouds and thunderstorms. You have a choice to manage your emotions, to be mindful and resilient to what's going on in this world, and still create a very positive, productive work climate. Your job is not day-to-day task execution. Your job is setting strategic direction and vision, figuring out that lighthouse and where we're going. So if you jump from number 1 to number 5 for a moment, what that means is if you're dealing with anything right now, if your team comes to you with a crisis in this moment, the problem isn't what they want to discuss. The problem is that they need to come to you today with that. You're meant to be future focused, not dealing with today's issues, but dealing with tomorrow's opportunities. And so I'd offer, try to get unstuck from what's going on today try to start focusing on that lighthouse and that future of where you're going. Give yourself the opportunity to take a time out. Like I said at the beginning, talk about mindfulness. Change up your music if that helps you. Go take a walk around the block. Same for your coworkers, right? Don't expect them to answer their cell phones the minute you call because you have something top of mind you want to discuss with them. Be mindful of people's own work environments, especially if they're at home with young children who are out of school, especially if they're at home with roommates who are not used to working from home and you've got two people with laptops on a kitchen table. Just sort of be mindful of what everyone is going through